Hey everyone, welcome back to Easy Awakenings. This is episode 4, Meditation Part 3.
Yep. Thanks for coming back. We hope you enjoyed the previous session. This one will wrap it up for this episode, so enjoy. So that when you're, think about it. Almost 90% of the people out here think with language. You're thinking,
and it could be just a culture of your own family,
exactly.
Right?
You're thinking in English. You're thinking in Chinese. You could be thinking in both.
Yeah.
When you learn a new language, you have to learn to think in that language, because your brain has to interpret all of these different meanings and so on and so forth. So I think that's quite often where a lot of these identities come from, is that confusion between the core elements of who you are, that conscious being, and the thoughts that subsequently come out of that. And it's really easy to confuse yourself with that.
Yeah, it's a way for you to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
But how many of us can really drop it after that?
Exactly.
Yep. We're just constantly carrying this bag of thoughts wherever we go.
And how many people are told that you are not your thoughts? How many people in the world ever hear that from anybody in their life?
Very few.
Very few.
How many agree?
You sure as hell you don't hear that when you're a kid. No. That's not something that's taught in school. You're quite often taught the opposite of that. In fact.
Yeah, most of the time you're being dictated other thoughts.
Exactly.
And being forced to think in a certain way.
And as you said, dude, the older you get, how many people agree with the notion that you are not your thoughts? That's a huge thing.
It is. It's quite freeing.
Yeah.
If you can experience that on a deep level, it's very, very freeing.
Oh yeah, and which of course can lead to the monkey mind. So we're gonna come up with our own term for that. I don't know, monkey mind's all right, but I want to come up with something. I want the Easy Awakenings monkey mind term.
I have a martial arts background, as you know.
Yeah.
And we talked about the monkey mind too.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people do. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So that's a way. The monkey mind is attaching yourself to something and really not wanting to let go.
Yeah.
And martial arts is knowing when to drop a technique, basically, and know when a technique is not working. And then also learning how to flow. So when you drop that monkey mind, you start to flow a lot more.
Exactly. And maybe I could be misinterpreting it well, but isn't the monkey mind also that constant, like the constant thoughts that never, the incessant thought pattern where you're there's no ceasing of the thoughts themselves. It's going on, thinking about this. What am I going to do tonight? What am I going to do tomorrow? Oh, she said this. Why did he say this about me? What do they mean by this? Oh, what is that? Oh, that car is beautiful. That color is amazing. Oh, what about these? I want to buy these some spears. I want to go out and buy some meat tonight. I want to blah 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 blah. It's maddening. So that's also the monkey mind, right?
Yeah, sure.
All right, yeah. So
I was more talking about, I guess, how I learned it, the martial arts.
That's why I'm going to come up. Let's come up with a new term right now. The crazy mind.
There you go.
The crazy mind. The rambling mind. The rambles. Mr. Rambles. That's it. Mr. Rambles, the ceaseless thoughts.
Like Bubbles the monkey?
Like Bubbles the monkey. Mr. Rambles. There he is. Copy this down, stamp it down, folks.
Okay,
Mr. Rambles.
Right now.
Mr. Rambles is the new monkey mind for that ceaseless thought pattern in your brain where you never stop thinking. That's Mr. Rambles. Every time we mention from this point on Mr. Rambles, you guys know what we're talking about. What creates Mr. Rambles or monkey mind? What creates that?
Yeah, I believe it's just you're attached to your thoughts.
Yeah.
When you get sucked into it and you are rambling, right? And you just go on and on and on and on, and there's no space.
Yeah.
There's no respite. There's no peace, right?
Yeah.
And then you can enjoy those really happy, nice moments.
I'm gonna amend that a little bit, if I will. I don't think that's what creates it. I think that's what sustains it. I think what creates it is, and I can remember, I'm going to go back into my experience, because I remember this point very vividly. I was fortunate enough to get into meditation at a very young age. I think I started about 14 14 years old, maybe slightly younger. I remember a time and place when I was about 16 years old. Mr. Rambles came into my head, and it was like this click, almost like this point of growth where that incessant thinking, it didn't shut off. And I remember thinking it. It didn't feel like a bad thing. It was nothing negative. But I remember it came in. It was this clicking point. I was sitting down in my bed. I was in this new apartment in Farmington Hills where me and my family had just moved to. And I remember that. It came in, and it was like it didn't go away. It just kept on going and going and going. And I think what creates it, I think it's the current state of society. When you're young, you're taught all of these things. You're not taught to be introspective. And so when you're not taught to be introspective, you go throughout life sort of finding things outside of yourself to identify with. And when that happens, you never turn the focus point inside and take a deeper look inside. And then what happens, you start getting older and no one interjects and says, hey, dude, you got to take a look inside and understand and see yourself. It just builds on it, and it's just like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Your brain is constantly latching on to things, and it builds and enforces that habit, making it stronger and stronger. So.
Yeah, and I know from my own experience, I mean, I'm over 40 now. You have this idea in your mind of getting older. And I know as you get older, you actually experience more fear because your body is not as resilient.
Yeah.
So it's easy to become scared a lot more.
Yeah.
And then it's easy to, for your neurotic behavior actually to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
Paranoia could set in.
Oh, yeah.
So...
It's like that thing. I think we talked about in one of the earlier episodes. Mm-hmm. The older you get, the more you're worried about losing things.
Yeah, that's true.
You're worried about losing identity. You're worried about losing, possessions. Like I'm a huge fan of roller coasters, guys. When I go to the theme park and I hop on those roller coasters, I feel great. Mm-hmm. But I remember it was last year or the year before, I hopped on this thing called the Power Tower. And you're just sitting up, and this thing it's stopped by hydraulics. It's not like a regular roller coaster where you're sliding down a rail, and if it just shuts off all of a sudden, you're gonna just slide your way across, right? No, this thing just falls, right? So something in that freaked me out, and I started having a bit of panic, and I was like, ah! And so let me tell you, funny enough, the thing that helped me out, that removed my panic before I fell to my could have been doom, was surrender. Surrendering the fact if I die. Hey, I'm accepting that that's a possibility, and I've lived a good life. Why not? You accept there's nothing I can do about it at this moment except be aware and go with it. And so, that really helped me out.
Yeah, I mean, all of this helps with nipping all that stuff in the bud, you know? So the sooner you get to it, the less work that you have to do in the long run.
Yep. So I mean, is there something else we want to point out? Is there's a difference between focusing on your thoughts and reacting to your thoughts, and that kind of ties in, I guess, to what I was talking about, the example of the roller coaster.
Yeah.
Reacting to your thoughts is hearing what's going on, identifying with them, mistaking them for the truth. And it's like a guy that's sleeping in his bed at night and his heart starts pumping faster and his, skin starts to sweat. Well, that starts happening because he's identifying, he's believing in the thoughts, and they're creating this sort of real life situation inside of the body, which goes back to that stressing yourself out to a point of unhealthiness, whereas meditation will absolutely help you to break out. It will understand that you can pay attention to those thoughts, good or bad, and that will help you to disidentify from those thoughts and not become reactive to them.
Yeah, you create an inner space for you not to react to those thoughts. Because thoughts you can use as something to entertain yourself with.
Exactly.
Right? Go into these stories not only about yourself or other people, but sometimes that can, not that there's anything bad about that by itself, but sometimes that can actually lead to you becoming more attached to those thoughts, and also you actually strengthen that process in yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is something too that we both want to make everyone, not make everyone, but help everyone to understand. Your thoughts are not a bad thing. So sometimes, and I know my spiritual journey, you've talked about it previously. It's easy to take these things like the ego or the thoughts in your brain.
I hate the ego. I hate it.
Exactly.
Stop.
And the thoughts too. The ego creates all these thoughts and these crazy thoughts. It's easy to take these things and turn it into your enemy.
Yeah.
And what happens
kill
when
the
you do
ego.
that?
I want to kill these thoughts. I hate these thoughts.
Exactly. And then when you start doing that, you're churning more negativity for yourself and putting yourself back into hell.
Yeah, man. You're just feeding into it. You're giving it energy, and that's actually what it loves.
Yeah, exactly. So this leads us into, guys, the big one here. This is what everyone's been waiting for, or maybe not. Maybe this is what we're waiting for. Who the hell knows?
Thanks for sticking around this long.
This is the longest podcast we've had, but this has been some crucial stuff, and we've got some really good stuff on this next bit of this episode.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell how important.
Oh yeah.
How important it is.
Techniques, guys. Techniques. This is the meats. Right, this is the ice cream inside of that cake you've been diving into.
I love ice cream.
I like ice cream too.
And ice cream loves me.
It reminds me, there was this thing called shark fin pie at this restaurant I used to have. It had ice cream and peanut butter. I think I'm a little hungry right now. What's going on? But back techniques.
Yeah, and we would love you to try this along with us as we're talking about it.
The meditation techniques, not the ice cream.
Yeah, not the shark fin whatevers.
Oh, but yes, no, he's definitely right on that. Try some of these techniques out as we talk about them.
Yeah, it's the only way you're gonna find out if it's the right one for you at a certain time.
Exactly. I recommend trying all of them out. Most of them. There might be some that are a little beyond, what you're sort of into.
Yeah, but I mean, each one in itself. I mean, even if you don't try one in particular that you don't like, or you try all of them, you don't necessarily have to, put any kind of importance of one over the other.
Exactly. So what's the first one? What's the first
the
one?
Old classic.
The old classic.
Breath awareness. I mean, it's in yoga, martial arts, right? Tai Chi, running. Actually, a lot of runners, when they're running, actually pay attention to their breath, so that they don't think about how damn tired they are. Okay. Especially those marathon runners.
Yeah.
But
let's go through a quick exercise on breath awareness. Okay. So, do you want to lead this one?
Yeah. If you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
Yep. So the way I like to do it is I like to pick a way of doing the breath, because I could just sit here and just go something like that. But with that one, stop.
Sounds like Lamaze.
So, no, actually Lamaze is actually a very deep breath technique. So I would be insulting Lamaze actually by doing that. But anyways, so you take a breath in through your nose, and then you exhale through the mouth. Okay, and there are other ways to do this, but this is the one we're going to focus on. So why don't you just go with me, right? How about you, Marquise? We'll do it together. So we'll go on 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll do one more. And then it's nice to be able to feel that breath, like that stream of like cool air coming out of your mouth.
Yeah.
There's actually a really calming effect, by observing that.
I feel calmer already. Doing these podcasts, you get really into the talking and the moving around and looking at the topics you're trying to keep on point with. But doing that instantly eased my not just my thoughts, but it eased my body quite a bit.
Yeah, and if I'll add one thing to the technique is when you breathe, try to bypass your lungs, like your chest. So just don't breathe into your chest. Of course, it's part of it. You have to breathe through your lungs, but try to direct your breath to the area just below the navel, if you can do that. So singers do this actually when they're singing. You know, they sing from their diaphragm.
Right.
So it's really important that you're able to take that breath and then just start directing it as low as you can go, and then exhale. You'll find that it's actually a lot deeper than just staying upstairs.
Oh, yeah. In fact, breathing within the chest only can actually heighten tension. It's
true. It's like
that
mimicking hyperventilating.
Exactly.
Right?
It can tick off that fight or flight syndrome where your body thinks, oh, it's rapid breathing. I'm in this nervous situation.
Mm-hmm. That's true. It's when things like that happen, it's always hard to go deeper, you know, so you stay up, where it's, you know,
the body does it. It's a natural reaction because it gets the blood pumping faster and gets you into this mode to make quick jumpy reactions. So you're triggering the wrong thing at that point. But well, let's get on the next one. I like to call this one the sensual. That's the inner body exercise, guys. The sensual inner body exercise. It's
senses.
Boom! He hit it right the nail on the head. The inner body. I almost called it the sensual body exercise. The inner body awareness meditation. It's all about directing your attention inside. If you guys remember, I spoke about getting into out of body experience meditation and practices quite some years ago, and this one was huge for that. And what it is you're taking your focus inside. As anybody knows, your body has a plethora of sensations firing off all at once. And it's really good to take it deeper inside and hit those very subtle sensations. Things like the feeling of blood flowing, the energy or warmth coursing through your veins. There's very, very tiny sensations, like you can hit this point of sort of a tingling sensation running throughout your entire body. There is a field of energy and aliveness inside of you at all times of existence, and that's something to tap into. That during the meditation it's a very powerful one and can really produce that blissful state that we were speaking about earlier. So let's go through a quick exercise on it.
Yeah,
I'll lead this one.
I'm down.
All right. So first, just relax. Get yourself into a relaxed, calm position where you're leaned back. Your spine is still erect, and you can lay down for this one. That's okay. But to help yourself stay awake, if you're worried about falling asleep, lean back in a chair with your spine erect. Keep your legs relaxed. Don't fold them. If you have to fold them, keep them comfortably folded. Let your arms hang loose. Let your legs hang loose. And relax your eyes. Relax your nose, your mouth, your cheeks. Feel every part of your body. Relax. And then focus. Take your attention down inside of your toes and your fingers. See if you can feel a moving energy, a moving force inside of your fingertips and your toes. If you're having a hard time with this, ask yourself, without looking at my hands or my feet, how can I know that they're attached to my body? Try to feel them. Once you feel this, let that sensation run up through your feet into your legs. Feel that from your legs into your abdomen into your chest. Feel your fingers go into your arms. Feel your palms. Feel your shoulders. Let that all course together and run into your chest, and let that come up into your head. Feel the follicles of your hair. Feel it go into your eyes and your nose and your mouth, and just let that feeling expand. Let it go from something small and subtle and expand. Now, if you're able to feel something, take that again. Let that go and expand. It can become an amazing feeling, and I mean pure bliss. I'm talking a state of relaxation that's better than any high that you could ever get from a drug, because there is no side effect coming from this. There's no regrets after any of these. So yeah. So the next one.
Wait, do we have to go to the next one? I feel really good.
Yeah, let's just stay in that one. This next one is what we call it the expander, and that's external awareness. This one's really good for driving. Mm-hmm. So like we were talking about earlier, when you're driving and you're in the car, it's very easy to kind of get distracted because your brain has to function on an external platform. You're paying attention to all these external things that are coming into your eyes, and keeping control of the wheel and the vehicle and so on. So focusing on things, not the interpretation of things. Staying away from titles and words and so on, but focusing on the road.
Yeah, if you could turn that radio off, I think it helps.
Oh yeah, leave the radio off on this one. Unless it's us talking, then take that puppy all away. But yeah. So I mean, that's take in what's coming on, but pay attention to it. See it for what it is. Don't add labels to it. Remove your interpretations of it, and just see it for what it is. That's a great exercise.
Yeah, I like to do it with actually the inner body awareness technique, where I'll be at home and I'll either be laying down or sitting. Yeah. And I like to do my inner body with my eyes closed sometimes. So when I do that and I'm feeling my body, what I do is I open my eyes and still connect to the body and your breath, right? Because breath is going to be happening anyways. But you look around the room and you look at certain things in the room. Yeah. Just scan the room just a little bit and see if you could stay in your inner body, and then you'll definitely refrain from judging and labeling. Yeah. And then you could go back to closing your eyes. But don't do that while you're driving. Okay?
Don't close your eyes while you're driving.
Do not, yeah. But you
Big
can.
no.
Yeah, but you can open your eyes. I mean, have your eyes open when you're driving and still feel the body and still do the external awareness.
Absolutely. And that's when you're gonna have to practice on your own. I guess we could do an example next time and some other. Yeah, we'll try that out. We've got a podcast coming up or video. This one's gonna be a video called Car Crazy. Yeah, we'll throw that in there for you guys. Then that actually sort of leads us into the next meditation, which we call the Tai Chi. So we just made that up, but we're calling it the Tai Chi. Not actual Tai Chi, but this is movement meditation.
Yeah, movement meditation. Yoga, martial arts, Tai Chi as examples.
Yep. And these are all excellent forms of movement meditation that can bring you into a state of meditation while moving your actual body. And I'll defer you to classes. Victor actually teaches martial arts. Funny enough, how do you know?
Yeah, I mean, I do, but I'll have to say that it wasn't an integral part of it. I think you get into the movement anyways, and then you do find this kind of deep place. Mm-hmm. But I really had no way of defining it, I guess. Yeah. Until I got more into meditation. Yeah. But, you don't necessarily have to do yoga or martial arts to experience this.
No, I don't do yoga. Rarely do I do martial arts.
I know I've been offering, but he doesn't. I don't know. It's been years, but
I have my own movement meditation.
But there's walking meditation, right? Yeah, that's we've done that, yep. And I like just the heel toe while you're walking, and just pay attention to your steps. Yeah, right, heel toe, boom, as you're walking. And then, and I know I'm going to come back to this quite a bit. If you can have that body awareness while you're doing things, it will just take the quality of this movement meditation way up.
Here's a great one. At any and all points of your meditation, incorporate all of these into it. Make it a fluctuating meditation.
Yeah, that's it's good advice.
Oh yeah, they're all good to try. That brings us to our next form of meditation. Now, there are meditations, and I had mentioned this earlier about my start with the paranormal, with things like out-of-body experiences and so on. These also can be forms of meditation, whether or not you believe that they are what they are. If you don't believe in people are actually leaving their bodies, they are still experiencing something. These are very real experiences in terms of perception. Right? No one knows what they are or what they are not, But they can be fascinating experiences, and it's something that if you're bold enough, give it a shot. That could be a cool future episode that we can talk about.
Yeah,
we're bringing some people who sort of dabble in that. I'll give my take on OBEs, out of body experiences. That includes my book that I wrote back in 2007, which is available on Amazon. OBE: A Journey into Pure Consciousness by Marquise White. Take a look at that.
I know he's gonna do that. plug
in, baby. Oh yeah. But then there's also Reiki, chakra meditations, and intuition meditations. These are all they're all valid in their own way. Again, whether or not you believe in them or you don't, there is something to be appreciated, to be appreciative of in each of these experiences, and even things that we haven't talked about.
Yeah, I mean, to be good at them, you have to have. It's necessary to have a heightened state of awareness.
Oh yeah, and that's exactly what it was. Each of these elements, these OBEs, the Reiki work, the chakra work, the intuition. These all take various forms. The true stuff, anyways, requires introspection. It requires inner meditation to master them in their own rights.
Yeah, you have to come from an empty place in a way.
Yep.
So the place of no thoughts, the place of no reactions, no judgment.
Yep.
And work from there, empty canvas.
Exactly. So if you guys want to hear more on those, leave us some comments, and we'll pop up an episode about it and go into it specifically. Yeah,
we're on Instagram now.
Oh, yep.
So if you go to Instagram.com/EasyAwakenings1.
That's the number one.
The number one.
Not the spelling of one.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep. Easy Awakenings 1 on Instagram. Yeah. We're also on Podbean. If you just want the audio, the podcast, you can download these podcasts and take them with you if you find them helpful. Hopefully you do. We're also on iTunes now. You can go to iTunes and download the podcast.
Yep, and we're on YouTube.
So we're
we're on the YouTube one, is we're adding a little bit of a video, a little piece of ourselves.
Yep.
And then including the podcast, of course.
Yep.
But in the near future, we'll be putting actual videos with ourselves and our unique approach to spirituality and sometimes humorous approach to it. So
I like the humor.
Man, I love to laugh. I love comedies, all that stuff. So
the laughter is it's a good form of surrender in its own right. Good true laughter. There are different forms of laughter. There's defensive laughter. There's
a laughter meditation where you just go ha ha ha.
Exactly. And then there's the laughter when you sort of hit this point where it's almost like you realize everything in the world is ridiculous, but it's awesome at the same time.
Yeah.
And you just can't help but laugh at how caught up you once were in that. That's an awesome experience.
Yeah, it's so easy to take everything so seriously, even spirituality.
Yeah.
This is not about like sitting there with clenched fists.
Yeah.
Right? It's about letting go and enjoying life. Meditation has to transcend all the techniques, all of just sitting there and all the doing the inner body and breath awareness. It actually has to transcend that and start to permeate the rest of your life.
It's got to be a practical application that helps you.
Yeah.
If spirituality is just a belief, it goes nowhere.
No.
It's a concept in your head that's again brings us back to it's good for an argument.
Mm-hmm.
And what is that? It helps you prove that you're wrong. Well, my belief's right. Yours is wrong. Where the hell does that get you? The truth needs no argument, period.
Yeah, I remember having an argument with my girlfriend, and in the middle, I just started laughing.
Yeah.
And she said, "What are you laughing at?" And then I just said, "This is so ridiculous. Why are we even arguing about this?" And
exactly.
And we learned a lot actually from that experience.
Yeah. So make sure whatever you do, if someone's leaving comments that this is bullshit or whatever the case is. Some of you who are really into what we're doing, you might find yourself needing to defend us. Don't let them have their identity. There could be something they're going through. You never know.
No.
Allow everyone you meet the space to be who they are, as they are, where they are, because you want the same thing.
Yeah, negativity with it usually has a big story.
Oh, yeah.
And we really don't know the story.
Yeah. Now, if someone's attacking you again, that's a different story.
Yeah.
You know, if you have to defend yourself, do it from a place of consciousness, of course. But yeah.
So that was episode 4.
Episode 4. That was a lot of fun, guys.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Please leave us some comments. Leave us some likes. Let us know what you guys want to hear more of. Particular topics. Leave us some stories. Give us some questions. We'd love to hear this stuff from you guys.
Yeah. Give us your inspirational stories. Give us your stories of hardship. Our questions to us, and we'll do our best to try to help you.
Absolutely. Well, that concludes today's episode. Thank you for listening to Easy Awakenings. You stay classy, San Diego.
See you next time. Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening to part 3 of meditation episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check us out on
Instagram, YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud. And Podbean. You always forget Podbean. Podbean, it's out there.
Podbean is where we started, actually. The first one went up, so thank you, Podbean.
Yeah. But leave some comments. We'd love to hear from you guys. Leave some comments. Leave some questions. We'd love to get some questions from you. But yeah, that wraps up the meditation episode. We really hope it's been useful for you. And practice that shit. Put it in your daily life.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.